Hi guys, listen, save the date, save the date, save the date. June 7th at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Bijou's going live. I'll be there to answer your questions, talk to you, hang out, chill. Let's just visit. It'll be fun to have a one-on-one with you. I'm really looking forward to it. I've got a bunch of really good questions, but if I've missed yours, you can still email it to me, or you can just wait until I see you, because I'll see you. June 7th, 7 o'clock, Mountain Standard Time. Put it on your calendar. Don't forget. I'm looking forward to it. Hi friends, this is Bijou Baker. I'm Maria. I've been wanting to do this recipe with you since I very first started, almost 2 years ago. I'm excited about that. So, this is a 7 yolk pasta. You, like all pasta, from scratch, you can make ravioli, lasagna, fettuccine, spaghetti, angel hair or thicker cut. You can make your own cut. There's no rule to it. Pasta is probably going to intimidate you until I break it down, because there's nothing to be intimidated about. And when you're done and you see this and you're going to say, psst, do that. Go, psst. See? Nothing. But it's work. It's that kind of work. But it's worth it. And it's fun. It's fun. I've always been looking at that attachment for the KitchenAid mixer that just does it by itself. I don't think spending $100 on that is worth it for me. I picked one of these things up, I think at Ross, for like 15 bucks, the manual ones, and I kind of like that. I kind of like watching the progress from flour to pasta. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ingredients, and that's only because I've added 2. Flavor. So, I'm gonna make ravioli. First thing I'm going to do before I even start my pasta is I'm going to make the filling. The filling is going to be a creamy garlic spinach filling. That's going to be, I need it to cool off a little bit because we're going to make it right now. When it's cool, I can put it in a piping bag, and then it'll make a nice little nest inside my dough, and I'm going to put in a egg yolk. Oh my goodness, if you've never had egg yolk pasta with egg yolk, sorry, it's just so good. And then I'm gonna dress it in a browned buttered sage sauce. And that's as simple as that sounds. It does 3 things, that's it. So let's go ahead and start playing. Let's go make our filling first. The first thing I'm gonna do is prepare my spinach. It's washed already. I'm just going to separate the base from the good stuff, and then I'll rinse it again. Spinach does keep a lot of dirt kind of tucked inside, so you want a good clean spinach. All of this is going to make this much. Okay, I'm going to dice some onion. I don't know if I've ever showed you how I cut my onion, but it's definitely not something Gordon Ramsay would be happy with, but he's not in my kitchen, and you are, so I'm all right with that. The onions have, obviously, as you know, rings. They have little rings. So they already have their natural cut for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut like a rainbow. I don't usually do this in my hand, but so I'm making like a pie shape cuts, okay? Just going around and around. Okay, can you see that? Another thing, I don't know if I'll be able to show you this, but when you see onions, you're going to see all these lines, okay? These green things, they go up into lines. Well, that kind of tells you where your chop is. If you want a coarse chop, you just cut just like I did. If you want a finer chop, you go right to where each line is. And if you want a mince, you go there and in between every line. That's the easiest thing for me. And then just cut down. And they're chopped and cut and cubed and everything. Kind of cool, right? And I'm just going to clean my mushrooms. Now, with these particular mushrooms, they're supposed to be brown. That's not dirt. And I just take not really damp, but I dried my hand to them so you know it's not real wet. And I'm just going to clean them up a little bit and take off the dirt because the dirt is there. They were in the ground. This is what happened. I usually do this when I use my white mushrooms. I don't care. I don't care that this happened. It's absolutely okay. So, this is my task. Cleaning my mushrooms. By the way, you don't ever want to rinse your mushrooms underwater. There is so much water in here to begin with. You don't want to give it more, and it will really dilute your dish. So this is how you properly clean your mushrooms. Please, not underwater. And I just put them back in the same container under the towel, just for convenience. That's all, just so I don't have to make more dishes to wash. And the sage, it's just like basil. You're only going to use the leaves. And I'm preferring the bigger leaves because they're not going to stay in there. It's just going to flavor my butter. So I'll use about 5 good sized leaves. And that's a lot of sage. But the browned butter pulls from it. Oh, they become such good friends. Okay, first things first, you probably want to know what's inside the filling, right? These are the ingredients. All right, I'm going to bring you down here and walk you through everything. I've got my stove going on a medium. Let's go a little bit higher. And if you've never worked with spinach, you're going to be really blown away with how much it shrinks. I've got 2 batches of spinach, and it'll be up here at first, and then it'll just cover the bottom. I mean, it just really shrinks. There's a lot of water in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my butter. And I'm going to sweat the onions. With my butter, I'm also going to put in the 2 cloves of garlic. Fresh is always better, most especially when you're making Italian dishes. I mean, give it the honor and the respect it deserves. You will be smelling like garlic quite a while. It's fine with me. I don't have anybody I need to kiss, so that's okay. All right. That and my onions, I'm going to lower it because I do want them to sweat. I want them to caramelize. Putting a little bit of salt is going to draw out the water from the onions, and I want that a lot lower. I showed you how I cut my onions. Now, you guys, this is your kitchen. You do what's going to work for you. If someone says I'm not a good chef because I don't cut the onions like they do on TV, I don't really care. All right. So what's the difference between sweating onions and caramelizing onions? When you caramelize an onion, you're trying to pull out the sweetness of the onion, and then the heat will caramelize that sugar, and they'll be brown. They'll be browner. I don't want the brown here. I just want, this is the stage just before caramelizing. So I want them translucent, sort of, not all the way, but definitely softer. Now, I should have chopped this up a little bit finer, but the truth is, okay, the truth is, my daughter's not eating, so I'm taking advantage of every bit of onion baking or onion cooking I can. Such picky eaters. Okay, here I'm also going to add a half a brick of cream cheese. I'm just going to work with this until it will melt. Okay, now I'm going to add the spinach. It's going to take up all this room. It's going to overflow my pan. And tongs are probably the best thing to use to move them around. So all the water from here is a lot of it's going to evaporate. But what's left is going to go underneath and help with the sauce. Pretty kind of cool, right? All right, now I'm going to add in the sour cream. And the Parmesan cheese. Now, I had a quarter cup of whipping cream. I don't need it. There was plenty of water in the spinach to give me this wonderful creaminess. All right, the stove's going to go off. I'm just going to keep stirring it a little bit. Man, if you could just smell this. Okay, so next door, I've got my pot of water started. Okay, it's going to be boiling pretty good. Now, when you're making pasta, even if you're making a handful of pasta, you want a lot of water. You want a lot of water, and you want to salt it really well. This is the only time you're going to really be able to salt the pasta itself. You can salt the sauce and everything else, but the pasta itself, you get one shot at salting it. Okay, now the fun part. I'm just going to bring it on down. You don't need to see me, you want to see the good stuff. Okay, the very first thing I do before I work on any of the pasta itself is I'm going to add flavoring. So I've got a tablespoon of dried basil. Basil is going to be throughout the whole pasta, which is going to look fantastic with the green speckles, and it's going to taste fantastic in every bite. So in there, I'm letting my olive oil work with it. And let it moisten up. Okay, see what I'm doing? I think I'm going to get a little bit more olive oil. I'm definitely going to get a little bit more olive oil. But I want this to be I want this to be wet. Now, I do not want to use fresh parsley on this. The funny thing about pasta, where are you? Where are you? The funny thing about pasta is this is delicate. This is delicate, not scary, but delicate. So if it calls for X amount of fluid, give it X amount of fluid. I took some of that fluid and put it into my basil. So I'm going to have to replenish that fluid. Fresh basil, fresh parsley, fresh leaf, there's a lot of water in it. There's a way to make basil dust, parsley dust. You know when you go to a nice restaurant and they've got this green sprinkled around it? That takes a lot of work. You can buy the dried, but the fresh one, it takes a little bit of work, and you have to take out a lot of the water with it. That'll be another video, another circus show, another time. But for this, because I do want the basil in it, I'm just going to give it a little bit extra pasta oil, vegetable oil. And I'll show you the difference. If I don't feel the difference, I won't say anything. But if I do feel a difference, I'll show you on how to fix it. Got it? Okay. Okay, I'm going to separate the yolks from the egg whites. And this is just going to be a messy process. So I'll just let you watch it. Let's see. I want my egg whites in here. Six. Six yolks plus 1 egg. Looks to me like I've got the makings of either more macarons or meringue or Swiss buttercream. They all work for me. Yes, there are tons of ways to separate the egg from the yolk, but God gave you the best. 5, 6. Okay, plus 1 whole egg. All right, in here, I'm going to add my liquids. My flour, I'm going to add garlic, oh, where are you? Sorry. I'm going to add garlic powder, fine garlic powder. I don't want it to show, but I definitely want it to add flavor. So that will go inside my flour. The milk and oil. I'm not going to put the whole thing in. That was another tablespoon, but let me just see where we stand. You're only mixing it to mix it. You're not trying to get it fluffy or anything. You just want everything well combined. In here, we'll add the basil. Save the pieces. It's funny, these two little things, the basil and the garlic, make such a huge difference in the flavor of your pasta. Yeah, let's clean this mess. Okay, this to me is the funnest part. This to you might be the absolute most intimidating thing. Let's just knock that out of the park, baby. Okay, is that better? I want you in as close as I can get you. You're going to need your bench scraper because that always helps with mixing. You're going to get so messy, messy, messy. You know, that's my favorite. All right, you're going to empty the flour onto your work surface. You can do this in a mixer with a dough hook. Like I said, I always like touching it myself. You can do it in a bowl. You can do it however you need to. So you're going to make a well in the middle. Push it all to the side. And try to make a dam. Not like a bad word. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right in the middle. And I'm just going to start folding it in. And there we go. And she's off. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys. It's all going to come together. I was the best mud house maker in the world last week. And I want it all. My hands are going to get dirty anyway, so. All right. And away we go. All you're going to do is bring it all in very gently. Right now is not the time to let this dough beat you up. Oh, that smell, that smell, that smell. It will all combine, and it will, I promise you, it really will get into a ball. Looks a little crazy now, huh? Yeah, it's all right. So do I. You just keep rolling and kneading. And I'm sorry, but my hands are too dirty to stop the camera right now. Now this doesn't make a whole lot, so if you do have a big event coming up, you can either do it in batches, because it does hold really well, wrapped up in plastic, I'll show you, and sealed in a plastic bag or airtight container. Believe it or not, by the time I'm done with this, my hands are going to be clean, and I'm not even going to wash them. One of my favorite things about this pasta is the color. Those egg yolks just give it life. Now, right now, it feels so dry. Well, it is dry. It's not done. It's not ready yet. And so for those who are afraid of kneading or don't think that they know how to knead, let's just show you what you do. It's really, and really guys, sometimes we are our worst enemies. Let me just get all this off. If you're one of those people who don't like getting your hands dirty in food, you will not like this. I'm not that person. All right, so to knead. To knead, you got your ball. You're going to pick it up, and you're going to use this part of your hand. You're going to use the ball of your palm, and you're going to push it down, shove it away from you. Push it down and shove it away from you. And then turn it. That's it. That's all there is to kneading. Over and over and over. But now that my hands are a little bit cleaner, I'm going to stop because really I got about 15 minutes of this. You don't want that. Okay. Talk about a workout. All right, so you're going to see where it's broken like this. Don't worry about it. You're fine. Just keep at it a little bit more. And it's going to be, like I said, my hands are clean. The ball is nice and clean. Man, I wish you can smell it. And it's going to feel, what does it feel like? Not like Play-Doh. It feels like plastic. That's where you want it. Okay, it's elastic and it's ready to go. It has to sit and chill for about 20 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up. Okay, now I've made mine into an oval log, and then I'm going to cut it right in half, and I'm going to let them sit separately until they learn how to behave with each other. This is going to make it easier to go through the machine. Just a good tight wrap. All right, that'll sit for 20 minutes. Okay, on to the brown butter sauce. It's not really a sauce. It's just browned butter with sage in it. That's all. It's butter, sage, and then we're going to toast the mushrooms in there. If you've ever made anything with brown butter, you know what I'm talking about. You know where I'm going. Butter gets a great golden brown nuttiness that marries so well with the sage. Once the ravioli are cooked, they're going to go right into this, and they're going to just hang out and get coated, and then right there. So I got my pan going hot. Okay, now for the brown butter sauce. It's actually just brown butter. It is its own sauce. So I've got my butter. It's going to go through a few stages before it gets brown. It's going to get very bubbly. After it gets bubbly, then you want to really take it off the heat because it is brown by that time. Anything beyond that, you're going to burn it. I'm going to add in my leaves so I can start to flavor the butter. That is all there is to it. I will add just the slightest pinch of salt. And I'm going to keep a very close eye on it. This is really such an easy, but such a delicious way to garnish your pastas. And you can just pour this into a bowl of pasta. I'm just going to toast it, not toast it, I'm just going to coat my ravioli in this brown butter. So you'll watch the bubbling really intensify. And I have this at a low medium heat. I want it done, but I don't want it burnt. Okay, can you see the colors coming through? It came to a rolling boil, bubbling, and then it kind of calmed down. At this point, it's done. I'm just going to take it off the heat. Turn that off. And just keep it going. I want a golden brown. I don't want dark brown because then it's burnt. That's it. The sage is a little crispy because it's been cooked. That's okay. We're taking it out. And that's it. It's going to sit until I'm ready to eat. Okay, so this is cooled enough. It's still really creamy, which when I cut into that, it's going to be amazing. So I'm very happy with that. Let me get a better spoon. I'm gonna fill my bag. It's a little warm for your hands, so if you have tender hands, maybe put a dishcloth inside or something. Can I just have you over just so you can have some of this right here? Come over. Now, whatever is not used here, you guys, I'll tell you what, this right here, mixed into just pasta, forget about it. It's amazing sauce on its own. Okay, always a different angle here. Okay, so these are ready, and like I said, I like them in tubes like this or logs so that they can go through. When you use this, you really have to make sure you have room. This little kitchen of mine challenges me, but as long as I can move this, it's all that matters. You'll find that the texture has changed in this, and it's very soft now. Before it was like a plastic. Now it actually feels like dough. It feels really good, pliable, and it's ready to play. So you always start off by sprinkling your workstation. It's going to be coming in here. All right. I need it to get somewhat flat, and I should have had my rolling pin, but I don't, so we'll work with it. Oh, that feels so good. All right, I need to make sure that you can see everything, so let me work on you. Okay, so we're gonna start. I've started actually. So each number, it goes from 2 to 9. So the smaller the number, the wider the gap to start your pasta. So you start, I'm already at number 5. So it's just a matter of spinning it and letting it go. Each time it stretches and it gets thinner, you move it to 6 until you get to 9 and you're good. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. It's going to happen. No big deal. All right, and the last one. All right, so you can see how big it got just with that. I'm going to continue the rest of my dough. Now, when you fold it over and you hold it, you're going to lightly flour it and fold it, lightly dust it, and keep it dry, okay? At this point, if you wanted to make your pasta, your spaghetti, or your linguine, the attachment back here is where you will do it. I'll do that later just to show you, but in the meantime, I'm just going to finish up the rest of my dough. Okay, so from here on out, we need to work fast. You do not want your pasta to dry. But I am going to show you how to make spaghetti. So this attachment goes right in here, and I'm going to use, that's a good one for ravioli. I don't want to use that one. I'll use this one. Okay, so it goes right in here, and you continue to turn, and it cuts it for you. So let the loose ones fall where they will. You'll vacuum and sweep later. And then you've got this beautiful spaghetti. You just let it dry. I don't have anything to let dry right now because I'm not doing spaghetti. So I just wanted you to see how to do it. Okay, here on out, it's fast work, so just bear with me. I got my filling. I'm going to make just a plop and a plop. I'm not going to put too much, and I'm not going to work a lot at a time. So I'm going to smush this out and make a ring, if you will. It's going to go right in the center, and you do not want to break that. Right in the center. Now it's starting to want to fall. Play with it. No one's going to see what this part looks like. Don't worry about it. All right. So now we've got our top part, and I'm going to just use another piece because I want to make sure that it's really going to be covered. Okay. I'm going to wet my finger and just put some water right around the edge. This is where it's going to seal. And you really, really need a tight seal. And let's see how close we can get. Perfect. As long as it's sealed, and you go around and pinch that puppy because you don't want the water to get into this. Now, if this is too close for your comfort, just use a knife. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to let it sit right there. I'm going to work on the next one. And I'll show you with a knife, just so you know, okay? Wet it well, because you need it to get to the top and to the bottom of the pasta. You want to hug it. And I'm just going to cut this one just so you can see the difference, that's all. Want the air out. And it's squared just for looks. You can leave it rough like that. Just so it's snug. Okay, it doesn't matter. And all this extra dough, that's flavor, so it's certainly not going to hurt. Let me have a bigger one. it's still warm. It's still so good. A pocket, a bed, a nest, whatever you want to call it. The water is back there rumbling and roiling and telling me it's ready to go. Now the interesting thing about these homemade pasta, the cook time, whether it's lasagna or, well, lasagna is different because you're going to be layering it, but if it's fettuccine or spaghetti or ravioli, the cook time is 90 seconds. And that's where it has to be really accurate. Weird, right? Nope, perfect. All right. I'm going to cut this. And this stuff is so pliable. I mean, it's so stretchy now. Not stretchy, but it's durable. How things changed from that delicate little dough that was right there. Take out the air. Seal this baby up. I think I kind of like the rustic look of the square. And do go check. Make sure there's no openings, because if the water gets in here, kind of ruined it. I'm going to keep at this. I just kind of want to show you guys the possibility of this beautiful pasta. Oh, that one's super tight. All right, it'll work. Just don't be afraid of it. Just don't be afraid of it. You know what? Worst case scenario, put the whole thing in the pot like this. You got a delicious, you got a delicious homemade pasta. Why not? Yes, I have done that, as a matter of fact. All right, nice and tight. And you know what? There's a little spot right here that is not nice and tight, so I'm going to gum it up. I'm going to block it, make a dam. Not a bad word. And with these raviolis just like this, of course you can any kind of filling you want, sausage or just vegetable or whatever you like, it works, of course. I mean, you got this, right? All right, I'm just going to start off with 3 right now. And I'm going to put them in the boiling water. Boiling salted water. Okay, so from here, it's going to go right into this warmed brown butter. I do want to get as much juice as I can out of there. Oh my gosh, that spinach smells amazing. All right, does that look amazing or what? Look at the brown butter, what it's done to this. And then when you cut this puppy open, hello, gorgeous. Oh my gosh, you guys. I love yolks. I love egg yolks. Wow. I don't know what flavor I taste most. I love that the sage is subtle. Sage can wake you up, but this is subtle. The spinach, the garlic. Oh my god! Go make this, guys. Yeah, this won't last. I'm not saving this. And then the pasta. Here's the pasta that I made. Right? Same pasta, just a different cut. You can dry these things out and use them for lasagna. And I think that's what I'm going to do with the rest because I don't want to stop. She wants some. She's not getting any. I don't want to stop and eat this, so no, I don't want to stop from eating this. It's a drug, I tell you. Okay, my friends, someone had asked me if I also, if I only bake. No, I don't. This is one of my favorites, and I've been dying to give you this recipe for you guys for a long time. So enjoy. Until next time, happy baking.
Ah, that was fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.